Hey everybody, Doug8798 here. This is the last part of my Double Dragon franchise review. I couldn't find any of the Double Dragon comics, so I'm going to finish up with the Double Dragon 1994 movie. The Double Dragon 1994 movie, of course, is loosely based on the Double Dragon video game franchise of the same name, and just like the cartoon series that came 1 year before it, This movie took several liberties with the established video games canon. Before I start this whole review, I love this movie. This is one of my all-time favorite martial arts action movies. I thought this movie had a pretty good story, memorable dialogue, and memorable scenes, and some good action, some decent, cool special effects and makeup effects, despite the obvious low budgets. And like I said, lots of and I thought the actors did a great job. The story is kind of hard to follow, but I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can for viewers who are watching this video for the first time and never heard of Double Dragon. The story is, well, the medallion part of the story is hard to follow. The basic story the basic story is that in the year 2007, Los Angeles has been renamed New Angeles after being hit by a massive earthquake, and now crime rules the streets as the Black Dragon Gang crime rules straight as the Black Dragon Gang have pretty much taken over. The main antagonist of the film, Kogashuko, is looking for both half of this magical medallion so he can gain total domination of the entire world. The medallion is kind of hard to explain. It's this there's two halves of the medallion that the ancient king sacrificed himself to split in half. One is for the mind and the other is for the body. Just having one piece of the medallion grants you several powers like invincibility and the ability to possess people. Uniting both medallions together grants you ultimate power. Or in Billy and Jimmy Lee's case, the main protagonist of the film, the power of Double Dragon. As you can see, they get the costumes in the picture you see right here, and they get, of course, the ability to possess people, invincibility, and super strength. The original Double Dragon video games was pretty much just about two brothers, Billy and Jimmy Lee, two martial artists in a post-apocalyptic world fighting the Black Dragon Gang. In this movie, like I said, this movie kept some elements of that, but changed several things. In the games, it was two twin brothers. In the movies, they're brothers, but they're not twins, and they're only described as brothers. And an Asian woman named Satori is their adoptive mother. In the video game, both brothers are martial artists. In the film, only Mark Dacascos' character, Jimmy Lee, is a martial artist, whereas Billy Lee is more of a street brawler. Is more of a street brawler. The damsel in distress character, Marion from the game, who gets punched in the stomach at the beginning of the game and carried off by the members of the Black Dragon Gang, she appears as a gang leader. She appears as a gang leader of a gang called the Power Core, and aids Billy and Jimmy in their quest to stop Kogashuko. Kogashuko, the main antagonist of the film, is a new villain created for Kogashuko. The main antagonist of the film, who's portrayed by Robert Patrick, is a new villain created for the movie, but he's loosely based on the Shadow Master from the Double Dragon cartoon, which came 1 year before this. Um, the other two characters from the games that appear here are Boa Bobo, the very first boss character you encounter in the Double Dragon games, and Flash, a female character with a whip, for the most part remained unchanged. But in my opinion, despite all those changes, I thought this was an awesome film. I agree with some of the changes they made. I like some of the changes they made because I can understand some of the changes they made, because if they didn't make a lot of these changes, this movie would have just been a random martial arts flick about two brothers fighting the black dragon gang. I probably would have enjoyed that too. But I don't think that would have been. I don't think it would have been any more popular, any more better than it already was. And I think this movie is kind of underrated and gets a lot of undeserved hate. Yeah, it didn't follow the video games, but in my opinion, it kept some spirit of the video games, and it was just an awesome, entertaining martial arts action adventure movie. Like I said, the film had memorable dialogue and several memorable scenes. I love the cast of characters. Scott Wolf as Billy Lee. He was awesome as the outgoing, cocky, headstrong but well-meaning main protagonist type character. He was a relatable character. Then you had Mark Dacascos as Jimmy Lee, the more cautious but tough and well-meaning mature but well-meaning protagonist as a foil to his brother. And both actors and characters were hilarious in this film. I'm glad they gave them more personalities, because of course they really didn't have much personalities in the game. Marin, I love her new role. Like I said, in the game, she's a damsel in distress character. In this movie, she's the rough and tough, free spirited leader of the game Power Core. Marin. Boa Bobo, he's for the most part the same, except for he actually reforms and joins the good guys in the end. Flash, she pretty much the same as her character. Christina Wagner was awesome as Flash, and Niels Allen, a B-movie actor, was awesome as Boa Bobo. Also appearing as Hawk in Boa Bobo's gang, the Mohawks. Hawk, one guy, Sean Mallory Asher, did a great job as Hawk. He was pretty funny too. And Robert Patrick was awesome as the crime boss Coco Shuko. He portrayed the awesome, arrogant, ruthless, enigmatic. He portrayed an awesome, arrogant, ruthless, enigmatic boss antagonist character for the game. Robert Patrick, in my opinion, it is said by some people on YouTube that he hated this film, but he did a great job. And as for the fight scenes, I thought all the martial arts sequences, for the most part, were brilliantly choreographed. I thought Scott Wolf did an okay job, did a pretty good job for a guy who's never fought, before. And Jimmy Lee, Mark Dacascos, his martial art moves just looked awesome. Like I said, this movie, when it was released, it was hated by critics and fans. It was hated by critics and fans of the series. It was hated by critics and fans of the series, but it did manage to spawn an awesome Double Dragon video game that was released for the Neo Geo, Sega Saturn, and PlayStation in 1994, only in Japan, before Tecmo, the group who makes Double Dragon video games, went out of business. But this was my review of the Double Dragon movie. Like I said, I thought this movie was criminally underrated, and yeah, I'll be talking more about stuff like this in the future. All right, Doug 8798 out.